Hey Canucks fans, welcome to Clay's Canucks commentary for Wednesday, April the 17th. I'm Clay Emo, I'm at Canuck Clay on Twitter. I'm at Clayton Emo on Instagram. I'm the founder of the GLCPC, the Good Looking Canucks Positivity Club, and this is my Canucks take all in one take. Going to be talking about Tanner Pearson in a second, but a quick recap or a quick reflection. Wow, last night's playoffs, I'm still reeling over the fact that Tampa is out, that Pittsburgh is out. I'm glad that Winnipeg tied up their series with St. Louis, as I have Winnipeg Jets in all my hockey pools. And, Vegas Golden Knights, unsurprisingly, I think I was in the minority, maybe not, that I thought that they'd get by San Jose, and they're on their way to doing so. It's not over yet, but 3-1. So we'll see what happens in all the series tonight. I'm really interested in Boston, Toronto. Out of all of them, that's the one I'm interested in most. But yes, the NHL playoffs are shaping up to be very intriguing already, with two of the favorites, Tampa as the President's Trophy and Pittsburgh as a perennial favorite, out in 4 games straight. Okay, let's talk about Tanner Pearson. And this one, I will admit, I think this is the one that I think the one time where people are going to think that I'm being too negative or too hard or too harsh. I'm giving Tanner Pearson a B+. Now, a lot of you on Twitter, especially when I put up my usual Twitter poll the night before, saying, what would you give Tanner Pearson? And I gave B+, B-, B-, and C+ as options. And admittedly, I said A-. I was debating between, you can only put 4 options on Twitter, so of the 3 Bs, right? B+, B, B-. Then it was either between A- or C+. I thought A- might have been too high, C+ might have been too low, but I ended up going with C+. Majority of you, 45% of you said give him a B+, or 40% or so. Another 35% say give him a B. So 75% at least say he's either B+ or a B. But many of you wrote in and said he should be an A or A-. And I have no problems with that, actually. I would not argue with that. But I think, when I think of an A grade or A- grade, that's excellent or outstanding, where a B+ is very good. And I would say Pearson was very good when he came. Would I call him outstanding or excellent? No, he's very close. I think he's borderline, between B+ and A-. But when I mapped these out, I knew that the 3 A's or A- I would give would be to Horvat, Pettersson, and spoiler alert, Jacob Markstrom. And everyone else would be from B+ down, including Brock Besser. So I'm giving Tanner Pearson a B+. He came over in the trade from Pittsburgh at the end of February, part of the trade deadline. And we traded Erik Gudbranson away, and we know that, to Pittsburgh. Erik Gudbranson scored a goal in the playoffs, but is now out with the rest of his teammates. And Tanner Pearson played very well when he came. He played 19 games, and he racked up 12 points in those 19 games. So 9 goals, 3 assists, 12 points in those 19 games. That extrapolates to a 51-point season, which is outstanding second line, borderline low first line, low-end first line material. So 51 points, and extrapolates to 38 goals, which is outstanding, which would have put him tops on the team by far. Now, obviously, we know that 19 games is a very small sample size, but there are a lot of things that Tanner Pearson did well when he came, and I think the fact that he exceeded expectations by most people, admittedly, I actually expected this from him. And I'm not trying to sound like a smart guy or whatever, or I told you so, and maybe he regresses a little bit, but I expected him to do this well because I liked the way he played in LA and not necessarily in Pittsburgh, but I'll get to that in a second. But let's talk about Tanner Pearson when he was here. One thing you notice about him, he's a stocky guy, right? He's 6'1", 200 pounds. So you can tell he's a bit wider. Kind of just describe myself except for the 6'1" part. And I'm not 200 pounds yet. But stocky guy, and he's not afraid to use his body. Just like I talked about Josh Leivo yesterday, Pearson can separate guys from the puck along in the corners and along the boards, and he's not afraid to get his nose dirty and get there, which is awesome. He's obviously not afraid to get his nose dirty and get to the front of the net as well. A lot of his 9 goals were bang bang from the front of the crease or in the crease or near the crease, right in front of the goalie. So that's a good thing about Pearson as well. And when you pair him with a guy like Horvat, they work very well together, and that's the one consistent line mate that Horvat could point to that he had, especially for the last 2 months of the season or the last 5 weeks of the season. Horvat and Pearson played well together because they play a similar game. They both have good hockey smarts, hockey IQ. They both can get to the net. Horvat's probably a better skater than Pearson. They're both good passers. But the one thing is Horvat was able to gain the zone, rush the net, or get the puck off the boards, or whatever it may be, and get it to the front of the net where he knew Pearson could be there banging away at it. Go vice versa too. Pearson can get the puck loose, and Horvat can be at the front of the net. But a lot of the goals, and I think of the Horvat one near the end of the season where he did a back pass between his legs from the corner almost out to Pearson in the slot, and Pearson put it in. So Tanner Pearson, very good scoring from the slot, in the slot, near the slot, in the crease, near the crease, around the crease. Not afraid to get in there, and his bigger body helps. He's not going to get knocked off the puck very easily. He's also got a good shot. We saw it, on I think it was on one of the shootout goals that he scored at the end of one of the games near the end of the year. And he's got a good offensive. He's got a good nose for the net. So all those things led him to get 9 goals in those 19 games. Again, extrapolated over a full, healthy 82-game season. That's 38 goals, which is outstanding. Defensively, he was fine. He's not the fastest skater. He's not the most fleet of foot, but he's not afraid to use his body. He works hard. He has good positioning, and he's smart. And I think, any lack of foot speed he makes up with his good positioning and with his good brain. So I don't think anyone's worried about his defensive ability or his lack thereof. I think he's fine defensively, but you're not getting Tanner Pearson to get to be a defensive stalwart. You want him to put the puck in the net and to create offense. So that's where I think looking forward, that's where I project Tanner Pearson to be. Is he going to be the bona fide winger that everyone's talking about Jim Benning has to land in free agency or get via trade? No, but it could be the other guy, right? You need 2 wingers for a center. I could see Horvat and Pearson playing with someone who they bring in. So it might not be a guy that's on the team like Levo or Eriksson or Berchi or Virtanen. It could very well be Horvat, Pearson, and a new acquisition. And we've already seen the chemistry between Horvat and Pearson. So no matter how well or how not well they do in free agency or via trade, I still see Horvat and Pearson starting, the season together as basically your second line. You have Pettersson and Besser, the pair on the first line. And as we know, a lot of times we talk about pairs on lines, and not necessarily all 3 guys, but you have pairs of players, and then you slot a third guy in that hopefully has some chemistry as well. So look for Pearson to at least start the season with Horvat as well. And look for the Canucks to add a third winger to go, second winger, a third guy to go on that line with Horvat and Pearson. Now, when you look at his stats before, the reason why he didn't blow me away expectation-wise, because I know that Pearson has offensive ability. In his 3 full seasons with the Kings, he had 36 points, 44 points, and 40 points. So an average of 40 points per season. He had 2 seasons of 15 goals and 1 season of 24 goals. Now, that's not 38 goals extrapolated, but we know that he's a 15-goal scorer, potentially a 20-goal scorer in this league regularly. And that is a second line player for you. So that's why, he did very well, but I wasn't shocked that he was putting the puck in the net, because I did like him when he was with the Kings. I did like him when he was with that the 70s line with Carter and with Toffoli. He was probably the least decorated of those 3 players, but still played a very solid role with the Kings. Then obviously started this season very poorly. He only had 1 point in 17 games with the Kings. They traded him to Pittsburgh, where I think he only had a few points in a lot of games with them. Obviously, the bulk of the season with them. But we hear that he had a thumb injury. He couldn't hold a stick properly. He couldn't get the proper leverage. He couldn't get his shot off. And it makes sense because he comes to Vancouver. He gets a chance to play. And I'm certainly not saying that Horvat is better than Crosby or Malkin. Yeah, that's what I should say, that Pearson only did well because he got good players to play with in Vancouver, because the Canucks players are much better than the Penguins players. No, I'm not saying that. But he did get a chance to play with a solid line mate in Horvat, and they were able to establish some chemistry together. So all to say, love his offense, love his chemistry with Horvat. Love the way he got to the net. Love the way he's a bigger body that can dislodge pucks. Love the way he's not afraid to go to the net. All in all, I give Tanner Pearson a B+. I know some of you wanted me to give him an A or an A-. I think we're splitting hairs. I think B+ it's by definition, it's very good. And I think Tanner Pearson was very good when he came to the Canucks for those 19 games at the end of February. Canucks fans, would love to know what you think. As always, leave a comment below. I love to read, react, and reply. Subscribe if you like this video. If you like to, tomorrow, let's move on to Adam Gaudette. I will be evaluating Adam Gaudette's season tomorrow. Have a great day. Enjoy the playoffs. God bless, and go Canucks go.